welcome into the CHGO White Sox post-game show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. The White Sox win! A shutout victory for our Chicago White Sox. The boys in black win 3-0 over the Los Angeles Angels. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. You can follow the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. Our CHGO White Sox beat writer, Vinnie Duber, will be joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field very, very, very shortly. But Herb, it's time for you and I to go through the 3-0 victory for the Chicago White Sox. It was a great game to watch. It was a great game to go get a sandwich during the first 4 innings, Herb. What'd you think of the performance from our guys today?
It was great. Those guys seemed like they took to heart what happened in the 9th inning last night and came out with a better approach. And as you go over the scoring recap, you'll see all, or if not most of these at-bats, they took a pitch. They took a pitch at the beginning of the at-bat. That is the approach you need to go with, and it bared fruit. Yeah. So it's good. And, yeah, I took a long time, but it was not my fault. The card machine over there at our place that was close to us, delicious Reuben sandwich, by the way, just wasn't working. And eventually I had to walk around the whole West Loop to get some money out. But I got it.
You know, for like a half hour, and somehow you missed 4 innings the way Cease was pitching there.
I had to go and kill the cow to make the sandwich and then also get the bread, the dough, and stuff to rise and such. So that's why it took me so long.
Absolutely. And a KPW's already in the chat today saying we gave Sandoval an ERA. Yes, they did, and they did it early in the first inning, but we're not talking about Sandoval. We're not talking about the bats today. We got to talk about the mustache. Dylan Cease was fantastic, if not electric, if not almost near perfect today for the Chicago White Sox. We're excited to talk about his outing today. Let's jump into it, Herb. He was dealing from the get-go. He was just loading up the zone with strikes. 16 first pitch strikes for Dylan Cease, 64 strikes out of 93 pitches. He had a strike percentage of 68%, 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 11 Ks. Alex says it right here, and he's damn right about it. By far the best starting pitching performance the Sox have had this year.
Correct. He had command and control of his fastball. He knew where that ball was going. When he ran into trouble, he went to old reliable four-seamer and dotted corners. What I was asking you, and the stats might say different, but what I anecdotally saw is that he could hit anything he wanted to, and he was keeping it outside the middle of the zone. And that's a skill when you have 98 and you can put it wherever you want to. That's Mike Trout. Mike Nelson Trout might go down as the best player of all time. I said before pregame, walk him. Dylan Cease said, fuck him.
The 4th time in Mike Nelson Trout's career that he had 4 plate appearances and was struck out 4 straight times. And you said it. I mean, absolutely. I mean, there was the second plate appearance he had. There was a runner on second base. They were threatening, and Dylan Cease dealt with him. We are very excited to talk about the way he was pinpoint accurate today. But going up against Mike Nelson Trout, I mean, even the last strikeout that he had, it wasn't really working for Cease late in the game. He was having issues trying to find the command of those breaking balls. It was tough to find the zone, and he got a lot of guys out with high inside fastballs, which was great to see. But his last strikeout is of Mike Trout. We talked about it, and I mentioned it. Just the fact that this is a confidence builder for Dylan Cease. I mean, if you didn't have enough confidence coming out of your first 4 starts, there is nothing more confidence building than 7 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts against Mike Trout, especially after the day he just had 5 for 5, or at least 5 times on base yesterday, the 15th time he did that in his career. So, I mean, 2 historic days for Mike Trout back-to-back, but Dylan Cease got the best of him today.
It's got to be demoralizing for Mike Trout. I don't know if he knows how to hit anymore. You can put the person into a slump. And after today, I wouldn't be surprised we look at the box score for the next couple of weeks and Mike Trout doesn't know how to hit, because Dylan Cease probably ruined some confidence today because, mercy. Everything was working for him. And when it didn't work for him, like Sean said, he just went to old reliable. He got the job done all day long. And we knew, and I said before the show, like, I don't worry about Dylan Cease and I don't worry about Lucas Giolito. I didn't think this was going to show up, though. This is a different animal.
Yes, sir.
And I know people throw it around flippantly like we throw around the Luis Robert MVP talk. This is a Cy Young Award candidate. Yeah. This, if not the best pitcher in the American League, I would like you to tell me who is better. Please, Jesus. That man was dominant today versus a team that's been doing well. Yeah, no Anthony Rendon. Yeah, Shohei showed up for a pinch hit attempt. But ask the rest of those people. That is a real major league lineup, and he made them look like minor leaguers.
And just to throw out there, I mean, my pick, Kevin Gausman for AL Cy Young, 41 strikeouts, no walks. He's been pretty damn good for the Blue Jays. So, I mean, I don't know if Cease is running away with this right now.
KPW right on cue with it, too.
He's better than Gausman.
Thank you, KPW. Here's the thing with Cease, and I talked about this last year. He is one of 4 pitchers that has like this incredible spin on his slider, this incredible spin on his knuckle curve, this incredible spin on his four-seam fastball. And we always saw that. But the big thing with Dylan Cease was the confidence. And we saw this from Lance Lynn, the example that he set for the White Sox in his first start for the White Sox last year at guaranteed rate field, pitching a complete game, shutting down, I think it was either the Rangers or Orioles, I forget who it was, but Lance Lynn went out and set an example, and Michael Kopech saw that, Dylan Cease saw that, and what we saw over last year was Dylan Cease building up his confidence and realizing what his stuff can do, and today he showed it to you. There was no nipping around the edges, there was no playing around with batters, it was attack, 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 and when he is on attack mode, you were right, it's a Cy Young contender. It is a guy with confidence, and it is a guy with absolutely disgusting stuff. Let's look at his pitch mix today because it was nothing fancy. It was nothing new for Dylan Cease, but it all worked for him. So the called strike per whiff percentage is the thing that we want to look at. 33%. The league average is 27, and Dylan Cease likes to throw a lot of pitches out of the zone. He likes to get guys to chase, but the thing here, Herb, is called strikes, 20 to 11 whiffs. He was locating, he was placing the ball exactly where it needed to be, and that's why he only allowed 1 hit. That's why there was 22 foul-offs, and that's why there was 11 whiffs. I mean, this was exactly dotting, dealing, and shoving from Dylan Cease.
I mean, I look at that, and he threw the changeup only 3 times. 2 of the 3 times, he got strikes on him. Right. I mean, so he's like, it's working, but today I've got better stuff. I'm gonna stick with reliable in the slider today. So he's got more in the bag. If he develops that changeup a little bit more and wants to and feels confident in it a little bit more, he could be at the top of the league all year long. And I'm just amazed he's there right now. Like, is there a pitcher that takes the bump for the White Sox that you feel like more confident in than Dylan Cease?
Right now, no. And that's even, that's not to besmirch what Lucas Giolito's been doing, because Giolito's been great, but you're right. It is amazing.
And I'm, like you said, when Lance Lynn took the bump last year, and they saw what Lance Lynn can do, and they built off of that. Carlos Rodon and Giolito and Cease built off of that. I think the same thing happens with the White Sox. You can't help to wonder what they saw with Vince Velasquez the other day on Saturday. Like, okay, if Vince Velasquez can do that, I got much better stuff than Vince Velasquez. I'm going to go at these people and see what they can do with me. And wasn't afraid. He's like, let them hit it. He was in a couple 3-1 counts, and I was like, come on, Dylan. In that inning, I was like, come on, Dylan, let's go. Let's get back. This is the inning that would get you in trouble, and Dylan would give up 2 to 3 runs, and it would just be done. He got it back. He's like, all right, 3-1, here's a fastball. Hit it. No? Cool. 3-2, here's a fastball. Hit it. You can't? Cool. Peace. Sit down, Kurt Suzuki. Sit down, Joe Adell. Immediately. That is confidence that you can't get any other way but doing. And he took the lesson that this ball's not going out of the ballpark today. None went out. So he knew that even if they hit it hard, like I think, was it Ward who hit it really hard?
6th inning.
Cool. 102. I don't know if it should have been caught, but the circuitous route by A.J. Pollock leaves a little to be desired. But he's knowing that the Angels or any team up there cannot hit his stuff. And no Shohei Ohtani, as you brought up, when he saw him last year, it was violent.
Yeah, that was first pitch swinging for Shohei Ohtani, and he took Dylan deep on that one. I thought you were talking about the 6th inning. Dylan did get into some issues there. He wasn't able to get the big strikeouts there. There was 4 balls in play, but what he did do was dot perfectly. He put pitches exactly where he needed to, and he got fly balls in very important moments. And you talked about the Taylor Ward hit. Yeah, it was a very odd route by AJ Pollock. He was standing here, and then he went down and then out, kind of like a check mark. And if he just went straight back, I think he might have had a chance to get that ball. But you talked about it. I mean, like
button hooked him.
He might have been able to throw a perfect game with this type of mix. I mean, like it was that kind of stuff right there. And the guys really weren't getting barrels on him. They really weren't hitting him hard. And really, the only one that was hit hard was that Taylor Ward one, which was at 102 miles per hour that got down over AJ Pollock's head. And if Adam Engel's over there, maybe he's able to make that play. But Cease's stuff was absolutely electric.
And as Russ had talked about, and I talked about the other day, it was good to get a victory. Good to get your victory on Saturday, but then deflated back on Sunday. Good to get a victory now on Monday. The difference is you got your people going. Mm-hmm. Kopech going against the Cubs tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. You got that man, Giolito, going against the Cubs on Wednesday night.
Right. And let's talk about we'll talk about
Let's
that a
put
little
together
later in the
something.
show.
Let's go. Let's put together something.
But now is the time for things to start being put together. They are now 9-13. If they win the next 2, they're 11-13. The Guardians have 10 wins. The Twins have 13 wins. So you're going to start needing to win and putting this together. They were 0-8, and I think now they're 3-4. So I mean, things are hopefully turning around for the Sox. I did see this mentioned too. I'm not sure if this is absolutely the case or not, but is this the first City Connect jersey winner? That's from Leonard. I also saw someone else before. Were they 0 for last year?
I think they were 0 for last year. That's
right,
why
there you
people.
Go.
I think I knew they were 0 for the first 2. I don't know if they wore it 3 times, but I know they lost the first 2 games that they wore those City Connect jerseys.
And Dylan looked great. I mean, Dylan with the white pants and white belt, or white shoes and white belt, he looks slick.
Yeah, Adam Engel needs to take some advice from him. He just had the black and then had the high black syrups and the black Adidas. Nah, son. Come on. We got to break it up with some whiteness.
Yeah, he threw out those stance socks with the City Connect. Yeah, he threw out the City Connect socks, and those are ugly. He looked like an uncle out there. He was putting anything that he found in his closet today on his body. Adam Engel was not looking the best, but the White Sox look good on the field, 3-0. And again, Dylan Cease, I mean, talk about stopper stuff, talk about ace stuff. Dylan Cease has had to start after the Sox blew opening day with the pressure of protecting Kopech on his first start. The second Sox loss versus the AL East reigning champs, the Tampa Bay Rays, a 3-game losing streak, an 8-game losing streak, and now this game against the Angels, this stopped the White Sox possibly from losing 4 straight series. That's stopper stuff. This is the legit real deal from Dylan Cease. I mean, there's nothing more that you could want from this mustachioed man. And as you could see, the mustache was working, and the pinstripes too really didn't help him out. He did look very, very old schooly here with as Jim Margulis points out at Sox Machine.
He needs 3 other members so he can be in a barbershop quartet.
Vinny could be one of them. So we got 2 of them right now. We got Vinny and we got Dylan Cease in the barbershop quartet.
Welcome to the Omega B.
Let's go back to Dylan today. I want to look at those called strikes plus whiffs. Let's look at where he was locating today.
I knew it.
Herb, where was he locating?
Everywhere but the middle.
Bing.
Look at that. Right down the middle. And even though Sean Barber, the terrible umpire, had a terrible day on Sunday, he had a not equally terrible, but he missed a couple bad ones. But hell, if you don't give it to him, Dylan's like, hey, man, I don't necessarily need it because look at me right down the middle over there. Look at the on the edge, up and down, lining up. My man was on flame today.
That's what you need to see, too. I mean, that's
27 Yankees would have had a tough time today.
Oh, did you see my tweet?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, that's good. We have the same exact mind. I tweeted out his pitch mix, and I said if Dylan Cease faced the 27 Yankees, he would have 27 Ks. Yeah. If Dylan Cease played the 1927 Yankees, he'd strike out 27. I mean, there's nothing that you could do with that. And, I mean, those called strikes right there, I mean, that you talked about it, that edge right there against left-handed batters or the outside of the plate for right-handed hitters. I mean, that's where White Sox have been pitched this entire stretch where they haven't been hitting. They're pitching away from power. If Dylan Cease can locate 97 and that wiffle ball shit on the outside corner, no one's hitting him. Like, period. I mean, this is perfect game stuff. It is ridiculous what he did today. He was absolutely fantastic. And the most important thing, we talked about attacking. Let's look at what he did in 0-2 counts. He had 4 batters in 3-2 counts. 4 batters, 4 pitches. He dealt with them. 2 were strikeouts, 2 were outs. Dylan Cease didn't waste any time. He didn't waste any pitches. He didn't try to nip on the outside corner. It was strike, 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 strike.
Here it is. Hit it. Can't? Cool. 2 of those guys struck out. So, yeah, that's got to feel great. He's got to feel like he's developing into a top-of-the-league pitcher, and that's what Dylan has. Confidence that he knows that these people cannot hit it. We saw it last year. We saw it develop, and now that confidence is at the top of his level, and he can only grow higher because, like we said, he didn't throw that changeup at all. Imagine if he mixes in a changeup, and you're like, I'm sitting dead red for 97,
right?
And then he's like, well, here's 87.
And let's enjoy the Mike Trout at bat, the last one that he had against Dylan Cease. 2 straight fastballs, strikes, and then a called strike 3 on the changeup.
Great game to watch.
And Mike Trout's just sitting there watching. So incredible stuff from Dylan Cease. But Dylan Cease, Lucas Giolito, Lance Lynn will be returning. We'll see Michael Kopech tomorrow. It's a good starting 4.
Oh, man.
Can't lie about that.
I mean, I bet you Rick Hahn's like, I told you guys so. Look at all this greatness. It's like you still gave us Dallas Keuchel.
You know who would have been better?
Stop it.
Carlos Rodon.
Man,
go look at that man.
We would have 5 aces.
Oh, Jesus. You'd have top 5 all finishing in the top 5 of Cy Young.
And we wouldn't be talking about the offense too tough. We'd be like, hey, good luck hitting.
Sox won 1-0 again.
We need to get 2 runs. I told you right when I saw him, like right when Jake Berger hit that sac fly, he came in, he shook everybody's hands. I saw the look on Dylan's face like, that's enough, guys.
Right.
I'm good. Like maybe he didn't think that, but I felt like he was like, good, thank you guys. I appreciate the run. And he got the extra. I was like, man, these motherfuckers ain't scoring ever.
And Dylan, too. I mean, just with that mindset and attacking like he did, the issues he had early on in the season last year were not locating his pitches early on in the count. He wouldn't be able to throw that wiffle ball shit while he was up in pitchers' counts. And last year, through 4 games, I mean, it was possible that this guy would be sent down to the minor leagues. He had a first pitch strike percentage of 39.2. Today, basically a year away from that last start, 7 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 11 Ks, 69 % on first strike pitch. 16 of 23 he threw to batters today. He threw a first pitch strike. I mean, that's your recipe for success. Throw strikes early on in the count, and that will lead to you being able to throw outside of the zone to get guys to swing and miss. We saw that with Liam Hendricks today. He threw 3 first pitch strikes today, and then he was able to use that slider outside of the zone to get 3 strikeouts. It was masterful stuff here from the Sox.
I think Vinny's up to something, man. Having a mustache and growing a big mustache takes a lot of confidence to do that, to wear it right. Maybe Dylan Cease is like, you know what? It's time for a mustache because I'm ready for it.
Absolutely.
And look how Vinny looks, confident as fuck. He don't give a fuck. He don't care what y'all say about him. No, it's like, cool. If you don't like my mustache, that's on you. I know I look great.
And he wears it well. So, exactly. I mean, why would you even be afraid?
I cannot wear a mustache, guys. And this one's barely here right now. This beard is trash. Mustache is trash.
It's not bad.
My beard is weird.
Sox now 9-13 on the year. Guardians 10-12. Minnesota leads the division at 13-9. Minnesota.
We don't have it in this room.
Yeah, we don't have it in that studio.
We're in Studio B. Look at it.
Sox run differential now -20. So they're still creeping up. Need to get to that plus differential. But Alex Potno says it, and I think I have to agree with him. Sox have actually been fun to watch in the last few games. It has been decent baseball 3 out of the past 4 games. I won't give Friday too much credit, but I will give Saturday and Sunday and Monday credit because we were right. I mean, in the first inning, we saw that approach. That approach was so much better for the Sox. That's why they scored 2 runs in that first inning.
Damn right, Steven. We've seen 9 of them.
Right.
Pick your favorite.
we get silly after losses too. I mean, like we get almost enraged at losses. So I mean, this is a much better experience.
They should do this more.
Silly. They should do this more. I like winning.
It's better for our health. That's what we care about.
It's better
Not
for
about
their
the White
health.
Sox. Yeah. Yeah. It feels good. It feels awesome. And we weren't here on Saturday. You didn't watch the game barely. I got the jersey and bounced out of the guaranteed rate, so we didn't even get the bask in the glow of a 4-0 Vince Velasquez victory. So we're going to talk happily about us splitting a series versus the Angels, who are in first place currently in the AL West. A good team. You saw they have pitchers finally. Michael Lorenzen, I think eventually will come back to earth and be like a 500 pitcher, but he was decent. Shohei Ohtani didn't pitched in this series. I think he'll pitch his next game versus the Angels play. That guy, Sandoval on the bump, I can see why he gave up no earned runs before this start. But he ran against a buzzsaw today. The White Sox had a plan for him. And, if Noah Syndergaard ever pitches again, he's decent. Not great, decent.
Yeah, but they're a good team. I mean, that lineup is truly the deepest I think I've seen it in years. I mean, it is really, really extremely deep. If Taylor Ward continues to hit, if Brandon Marsh continues to hit, you got Trout and Ohtani after those two guys, and I've heard those two guys
and then
are pretty good. Yeah, and then Rendon, who's also pretty good.
And
not MVP good, but he's pretty good.
I heard for years that Joe Adele's going to be something. Ooh, friends.
You want to talk about him for a second?
That man is ungood. Hashtag ungood.
We're worried about Andrew Vaughn playing in left field, and this guy is an actual outfielder. And Joe Adele took, 3 horrible routes in this game. And I mean, you talked about the one where he almost ran into the center fielder.
Yeah, center fielder called him off. The man's still going straight. I know he was letting up a little bit, but the center fielder don't. He's got that man in his peripheral vision. Joe Adele's a big-ass dude. He was about to say hello from the other side.
Yeah, no expert saying, thank God Ohtani didn't pitch against us. What would you have been? What would the odds been if he threw a no-hitter against these ice-cold bats? I'd imagine pretty high. I don't know if he'd throw a no-hitter, but the White Sox definitely would have struck out 10 times against Shohei Ohtani. And
he probably hit a home run.
He probably hit a home run.
Not against Dylan Cease. Hell no.
Well, he already did that once.
No one's hitting a home run off Dylan Cease today. Nope.
For the rest of the year.
No, sir.
No more home runs
Stop
for
it.
Dylan Cease.
If he has this, yes.
Yes.
I don't care who's up there.
And hey, you know who posts odds on, home runs and strikeout props?
I don't know who. Sean, will you tell me who?
PointsBet. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet at allchgo.com and we will help you out. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting. And it just got even better, introducing PointsBet's newest feature, the live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And if you want more, you can also boost your live same-game parlays. You can watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. Online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And our next partner has a product that I literally use every day. I started taking AG1s because, well, they gave us some free.
Yes.
And I started trying them, and I use them every day now. They are fantastic. Started using them now about, for the past 6 weeks, and I've been just working it into my morning routine.
We have been here that long.
I know, right? It's been fun being here at CHGO.
God damn.
It's been a blast. And Athletic Greens helps me wake up every single morning. I wasn't used to having a 9:30 a.m. alarm. Not complaining. It's not too early, but still, I wake up at 9:30 a.m., I get up, brush my teeth, and then I go start my day with AG1s. It doesn't taste super healthy. Kind of has a mild tropical taste. I look forward to it each morning, and it does get me off and going on the right step. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics and adaptogens to help you start your day right. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, and it's lifestyle-friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with daily, convenient nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day, about 8 to 12 ounces, friends. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGOSOX. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/CHGOSOX, CHGOSOX, to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Surprised Vinny isn't here.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that perfectly. It was right. And then ring.
Right.
Well, think about it.
Not in a bad way. I mean, Vinny, he's been consistently coming around the first ad break. So I was just trying to plan it out the right way.
I mean, I'm probably thinking that boom!
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 Boom! We just did the ad read. And here comes Vinny getting all propped up and ready. We are a well-oiled machine. How you doing, Vinny?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
We're great. We literally just finished the ad read and we're like, where's Vinny? Not to be like rude or anything. We really don't have a time schedule, but you've been consistent. So we're like, oh, Vinny's going to show up soon. And here we are.
Right then.
I see him adjusting in his chair, getting ready. I'm like, no, I'm putting you right on. That's it.
Right on time.
Clockwork, baby.
Yep.
It's the mustaches. What's up with you and Dylan Cease today? I mean, you guys can never shave. I mean, this is something that you guys got to keep going.
Guys, not 20 seconds ago, I walked by him and I go, "You're keeping this, right?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You can follow Vinnie Duber on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He is the CHGO White Sox beat writer, joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field after a 3-0 victory. The White Sox over the Angels. Who'd you talk to, Vinny?
Dylan Cease, of course. I mean, listen, he's the man of the hour today, and a lot of questions about what he did to Mike Trout, striking out a guy that he called maybe the greatest player of all time. I would probably agree with that assessment. Striking him out 3 times, that doesn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? So I think somebody was saying just the 7th time in his whole career that he struck out 4 times in a game, obviously 3 of those from Cease. So impressive stuff. I mean, Herb, you talked about him before the season as a Cy Young candidate. That's the kind of thing that a Cy Young candidate does right there is go. And, listen, that was not the Angels lineup maybe that a lot of people have been used to watching so far this year, but they're a very good team. And obviously, when a Major League Baseball pitcher can do that to a Major League Baseball lineup, every time it happens, it's impressive.
Yeah, anytime you get 1 hit and 11 Ks in 7 innings, it's a good day's of work.
I don't think it would have mattered if Shohei Ohtani was in that lineup or Anthony Rendon. Dylan Cease was on one today. What do you say in the inning where it kind of got a little dicey? What do you say he went back to? Because to us, it just looked like he's like, here's the ball, hit it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's so funny because Dylan Cease is such a understated guy. It's always very much about the process with him. How many pitches did he execute? That kind of thing. It's all very cut and dry, and it's not something like that fans are going to do. Get fired up about seeing a great performance, or someone like me going, man, that's impressive. We got to figure out what's behind that. He's always very kind of scientific about it, and that's what he was doing today, talking about he called it the best start of his career. But in the same tone that he's talked about every other start he's ever made. Tony La Russa was a little bit more, marveling at what happened today, and talked about some of the times that Cease was facing some pressure, and that this is a sign of the development, the continued progress that he's making. I don't think anybody thinks that this is peak Dylan Cease quite yet. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily mean that this won't be one of the better performances of his career or anything like that, but just that he's so early in his career, and he's got that stuff is so good, and they just talk about it in such great terms all the time that the more he learns, the more that he's able to harness it, it's just going to get better and better. And we're seeing that we saw that dramatic jump from 2020 to 2021, and it looks like we could be in for another one from 21 to 22. Who's to say they're ever going to stop being made? At least in the short term here in the next few years.
Before we go to what Tony was marveling about with Dylan, you mentioned the scientific process and just Dylan's process. What insight could you give into that? Because we know that Dylan, it really feels like this has been a confidence issue with him, because you mentioned the stuff plays, and it just feels like today he was so confident. What has gone into him building that confidence, and what is that process for him like?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever really been a confidence issue so much as maybe just a location issue and kind of remembering to do the same thing every single time. Again, this is where we're kind of getting into the almost, maybe even boring aspect of baseball, right? Which is the preparation that some of these guys go through, which is, repeating themselves over and over and over and over again, especially on the pitching side, just making sure that you can do the same thing 150 times in a row, every 5th day. And working with Ethan Katz obviously was a huge boon to Dylan Cease. We saw the similar effects to Carlos Rodon's career, a guy who's now pitching in San Francisco and doing well. So, Dylan has really worked on this from 1 year to the next, and something clicked, and he's able to now kind of go into that. Again, we've talked about this a lot, right? Something goes wrong. It's how quickly can you get back in the lane, and he's been able to do that this year. And I think, whatever it has been, him working with Dylan Cease, or Ethan Katz, that has really been able to allow him to get back on track a lot quicker, and that's really allowed him to go deeper into games.
I don't know if they talked about it in the post game, but to us, it looked like they had a concerted effort to be a little bit more patient at the plate especially in that first inning where they produced 2 runs. Did Tony talk about it a little bit, or did you sense that that was the plan, to just be a little bit more patient like they were in the 9th inning last night?
It looked like the 9th inning over again, didn't it, right? I mean, it kind of looked like the same thing that they were doing the night before. And really, it got to the point where just 2 runs or just 3 runs, the way Cease was pitching, it made it look like 100. It made it feel, it made it feel like it was an absolute blowout. And so when you can do that, I think offensively that speaks well to an approach. Sometimes it just takes 1 inning, to put a crooked number in 1 inning and you let your pitcher do the rest.
All right, what did Tony have to say, marveling at Dylan's start today? Obviously, 7 innings, 11 Ks is impressive, but did Tony have anything else to shed on Dylan's start?
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of he said a lot of the same stuff that I've relayed already. Okay. You know what I mean? Just kind of signs of his progress and signs of his maturity, signs of what can still be to come from Dylan Cease. He checked himself and made sure not to use the word amazing because he wanted to make sure that there was something else to go. So there's another level to go to with Dylan, and so that's kind of the assessment that Tony had.
Was Tony dancing today? Any dancing moves from Tony?
No dancing, but man, okay. How about Jose Abreu doing a little break dancing there at home plate after the slide there for the Sox third run? I think the internet's having fun with that one at the moment.
Yeah, I saw him screaming around home plate, and then you just tweeted out that you and Fegan are saying that there's a boombox off screen on the picture of Harrison and Abreu's on his head. That was fantastic to see from Jose. We asked, is he hurt? After yesterday's game, looked all right rounding third base today.
Looked okay. Good send by Super Joe too, but right. Jose did that. I think the first time we saw that, or at least it was captured on film, was back during that pandemic season in 2020, and now it's almost become a thing when he's going around third base. He lets out that holler, and maybe it gives him a little speed boost there Absolutely. To get all the way home.
I mean, they're 3-3 in their last 6 games. Not great, but I feel like just winning these games and how they're winning the game. The shutout by Vince Velasquez and company on Saturday, the shutout today by Dylan Cease, Kendall Graveman, and the return of Liam Hendriks. Good to see that slider being tight. Did Tony talk about the team and what Liam Hendriks is bringing to the table? Because it looks like he's back.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the back end of that bullpen looked when they acquired Graveman, I think everybody, applauded that move. I think a lot of fans were hoping for something different, but that was a great signing. And then you go and you add Joe Kelly on top of it. He pitched yesterday for the first time in his rehab assignment down at AAA, scoreless innings. So he might be back early next week too. So you're talking about, if you can get Liam back on track and Aaron Bummer back on track, you're talking about the back end of the bullpen that you thought you were going to have when the season started, and or before the season started, I should say. And that's a damn good weapon to have for this White Sox team, not just during the regular season, but specifically for October, when those bullpens kind of take center stage. So, Hendriks looked like himself today, and I think that's been kind of maybe the theme, as the White Sox kind of hope to emerge from that really nasty stretch that they were in, get a little bit back to normal. And I think that's what they saw in the 9th inning yesterday, offensively and certainly pitching-wise. You saw that today.
Well, and let's talk about the pitching, especially from Kendall Graveman. You are always relevant, always on point, and today you released an article.
If you would have told my friends in high school, knowing what my musical taste was, that someone would call me always relevant, I think they would have laughed their asses off at you, but I'll take the compliment.
Well, you talked about Kendall Graveman, who was nails, and going into this game being nails. He was nails again in the 8th inning. Can you shed some light on what Kendall Graveman has meant for the White Sox bullpen this offseason and this season so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody can watch the game and see what he means on the mound, right? I mean, he's pitching fantastically. He's, outside of Tanner Banks, who kind of came out of nowhere, he's been the best pitcher in that bullpen. And the thing, though, that is very interesting to me, and I think to a lot of fans, is that he stepped in here, brand new face this spring, and instantly he has been a mentor to some of those young guys in the bullpen. And the way that he explained it to me, it's just kind of something that's always been ingrained in him, that he needs to help people. He looks around at today's game and sees all the kind of outside help that everybody gets. There's so many resources for pitchers and players. And he said, not a lot of teammates are kind of investing in each other and want to help each other out. And he's kind of out to be different in that regard. But at the same time, too, Liam Hendriks talked to me and said, this is great for the bullpen because he is totally the opposite of me. He said, Liam and Kendall are two totally different guys, whereas Liam is, again, Liam remembers every at-bat he's ever had seemingly, but is kind of a, when the phone rings, you go out and you throw against anybody. Kendall Graveman is a guy who's kind of poring over video and making sure he, can flip to his mental Rolodex and have every at-bat ready to go. And he's imparting that to a lot of the younger White Sox pitchers in that bullpen. And so you've got two very different approaches, but now you've got two guys that can be leaned on by the younger guys. And if the Liam Hendriks approach doesn't work for player X, they can turn to Kendall Graveman and have another kind of leader out there. And that's a big deal. And then, of course, you bring up Joe Kelly and everybody starts laughing immediately. So it's going to be a nice group down there in that bullpen this summer.
Well, imagine if they had Garrett Crochet, too. I mean, this bullpen would be super, super ridiculous. Just to that point, too, I mean, you look at Liam Hendriks, and it's just like, all right, I'm going to throw 2 fastballs, and hopefully I get to an 0-2 count, and then I'll just let my slider eat. Like, that really felt like his game plan, where, Kendall Graveman was probably pouring over every at-bat that he had last year in a Seattle Mariners uniform and a Houston Astros uniform, pouring over all of his at-bats against the Angels. So that at least sounds like the difference between those two. And any other more notes from the Graveman Hendriks talk or about the bullpen in general?
Yeah, I think I brought it up there at the end there. I mean, it struck me as kind of silly because I just would say, oh, well, what will Joe Kelly bring to the bullpen when he comes back? and Liam Hendriks starts laughing and Aaron Bummer starts laughing and you're like, oh, okay. And I think everybody obviously remembers what he did facing the Astros back in 2020, and you can't kind of help but mentally connect that face that he made walking off the mound against Carlos Correa, who's a Minnesota Twin now, by the way. I bet you those two will come up against each other at some point. They'll come up against each other at some point this summer. But, and I think maybe that's it. But also such a talented and accomplished relief pitcher is Joe Kelly. And to add him to a mix that already is Hendriks and Graveman and Bummer, what Bummer can be when he's on. I think people are really excited about what could be the case there at the back end of that bullpen.
And Vinny, I forgot to bring it up yesterday. I was wearing my Kane County Cougars hat yesterday in honor of Joe Brand, who does the play-by-play. Your guy Connor says that you guys worked in the souvenir shop back in the day. How was that working in, as you call it, the Tri-Cities area of Geneva, St. Charles, and what's the third Tri-City?
Batavia is the third Tri-City.
No one likes Batavia.
I am from Geneva. I am from Geneva. That's where the stadium is. I believe it has a fancy hospital sponsorship now. We know it as Philip B. Elfstrom Stadium, of course, and yes, many years in the souvenir stand there in the souvenir store with the Cougars during their days under the A's banner, under the Oakland A's banner. So, but yeah, and before that, I had we had season tickets when I was a little kid too. So I have spent many a day at that ballpark. I'm probably just now eclipsing it with all my days at the rate for how many days I spent there.
Did you see a Charles Johnson?
I was there the night Charles Johnson's jersey was retired. How about that?
Look at you. Are you a Counter said he's a classic logo guy forever. Are you with your Baja Blast boy?
Absolutely. You got to go with the green and black. That new logo doesn't do it for me at all.
That's what John
said. And the worst is they changed Ozzy, the mascot, Ozzy T. Cougar.
Right.
He used to be a hilarious, lovable guy. He'd put the baseball in his mouth and open his mouth and it'd fall out and you'd catch it. It was great. He had a reading club. He was a laughable, lovable mascot, and they turned him into some sort of mean, vicious animal at this point. And no good. No good.
Ozzy's about literacy now they made him a mean devil type of character. That's terrible.
And he's not a devil type of character, but let's put it this way. I've made this complaint before too, and this is where I have the unpopular opinion. I do not like modern day Benny the Bull. I am a 90s Benny the Bull with the big hula hoop waist and the target for a number, and he's silly and everything. I don't need my mascots to be edgy. I need them to be funny and wacky.
Yeah, I like that they kept around a little bit of the fat Benny, like the wide hip Benny. I mean, you see him every now and then, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they
didn't retire him. I like the modern day Benny the Bull. But what does the T stand for?
The.
It's Oscar the Cougar, and they just named
Ozzy.
it
Ozzy.
Oh, Ozzy. My bad.
Ridiculous.
Ozzy, Oscar.
Get out to a game.
Oh, I got to get out to a game. Well, they changed the logo, and that's why
we know Sean's not from the Western Burbs. Come on now.
No, Southside forever. All right, final question I have to ask you. Before the game, we saw Danny Mendick and Sean Anderson Severino get sent down. Anything we need to know with those two? Obviously, the 28-man roster shrunk to 26, but outside of that, any news and notes with the Mendick and Severino call-downs?
Not really. I mean, I think a lot of folks on Twitter looked like they could have predicted that one. But, know, I think the more interesting stuff is going to happen after this weekend. Could be a very important weekend from a starting pitching standpoint because it sounds like Johnny Cueto is on the come here. He is maybe going to get one or two more looks down at Charlotte, and then he is probably going to be here. The way Tony La Russa talked about him today, saying that he's a guy that they want to get here sooner rather than later. There's only 5 spots in the rotation, guys. So, Vince Velasquez and Dallas Keuchel will both have starts in Boston, it would seem, if you do the math and line it up. I'm not sure that's been announced yet, but, just kind of looking ahead and doing some counting. But we'll see how that plays out. Maybe Vince Velasquez falls into that role that they thought he was going to be in the preseason where he goes to the bullpen and acts as a long man. Or, maybe the results still stay bad for Dallas and the White Sox have a decision to make. But it certainly sounds like Johnny Cueto is going to be on the south side relatively soon.
And your boy Connor said, hard to come back with at Southside forever with Western Burbs forever. So I think we'll send off Mr. Geneva here.
I have one more thing because somebody thinks I hate Fermilab. I don't. I learned that there's bison back there.
Yeah.
Literal bison.
We went to a field trip there to Fermilab. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know there's bison back there?
No, I didn't know that there was bison back at the Fermilab, but that's a weird take that you hate the Fermilab.
Well, I said
because that's in Batavia.
Batavia.
Right?
Batavia.
Oh,
My
okay.
Batavia hate.
Okay.
They
beat us in football a couple years ago.
Guys, City of Energy. You got to remember that one. Come on.
I mean, that's probably why Fermi did all of his experience in that lab, probably because all that damn electricity.
I think the nickname probably came afterward, but okay.
That's Vinnie Duber, Batavia expert and White Sox beat writer for CHGO.
But Geneva's finest.
But Geneva's finest and Rolling Stones expert as well. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. Vinnie, we appreciate your contributions as always.
Take it easy, guys.
See ya. Hell yeah, there's bisons, is what Alex Patanos says.
I did not know that until Courtney told me. I was like, why are there bison in a place where they're doing science and shit?
It's time for us to now go visit all the bison. We're going to go out to the Fermi Lab and see all the bison out there. Then, if
Don't
you
climb
want
the fence, though.
What's that?
Don't climb the fence. The bison will attack you.
Don't pet the bison.
Yeah.
If you enjoy CHGO and want to help us continue to grow so we can go visit the bison at the Fermi Lab, download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free CHGO t-shirt from CHGO locker. If you have any questions, you can email PointsBet at allchgo.com and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook easier than ever, so you could start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet, people. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And gotta mention, our next partner, if you want to start your day with a competitive edge, Strava CBD coffee is a game changer and has helped thousands of people to improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roasted specialty coffee infused with organic, broad spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you. It'll help you feel alert and focused without the jitters. It'll help you live your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. And not only can you start your day with a competitive edge, I like to use it at night. Including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. I like to drink some CBD coffee before I go to bed. I like the uncaffeinated version, friends, and, helps me go to bed real nice and easy. The best part, too, Strava is all about quality. Everything is small, batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. Strava also offers concentrated full-spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD format with a powerful entourage effects of benefits. CHGO listeners can save 25%, that is 25, off their entire purchase when you use code CHGO25. That's 25% off your entire order at StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use the code CHGO25 at checkout. And if you already love Strava, subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. With Strava, you're in control. Save on your favorite coffees and have them automatically delivered to your home or offices on your preferred schedule. Again, use code CHGO25 for 25% off your entire purchase at StravaCraftCoffee.com. PointsBet.com. Herb, let's talk about this offense.
Okay.
So the Sox, in the first inning, they get out to an early lead. Tim Anderson got a single, and the White Sox were able to have him on base. And then Luis Robert got on base as well. We talked about Joe Adell taking a horrible, horrible route to that ball.
It looked like he could catch that ball in the air, but Joe Adell's a bad left fielder and a bad hitter.
Yeah, he dropped it. So Anderson and Robert go to third and second. Then A.J. Pollock hits one to the right side of the second baseman, moving Robert to third, scoring Anderson. Abreu walked, Grandal walked, and then Berger hit a sacrifice fly. That is 2-0 White Sox. And what we noticed, the Sox were taking pitches. They end up in this game versus Patrick Sandoval, facing him 26 times. They took the first pitch 21 times.
That's good. That is a good process. And then you see the results. Second and third, A.J. Pollock, short and quick, right up the middle to the right side of the infield, drives in Timmy. Perfect. That's the execution that we desire, that we need on this team. As they saw, they knew Dylan was on one today. We don't need that many guys. Just need to get on base, drive him, move him over, and then drive him in. And that's what they did today. It was a perfectly executed game by the offense. Maybe some more runs, but hell, 3 was enough for today.
Yeah, and only 4 Ks, 3 walks. That's good splits right there from the White Sox. You want to be walking as much as you're striking out. This team isn't striking out, which is great to see, and has been one of the best parts of their aggressiveness is they're not striking out. It is just leading to them also not walking, so you're not getting those base runners. You're not getting that extra pressure on Sandoval. And we saw him have some laborious innings. In the first inning, he threw 25 pitches. In the second inning, he threw 9 pitches. In the third inning, he threw 7 pitches, and you might be wondering, well, it's going the wrong way, friends. In the fourth inning, 17 pitches. In the fifth inning, 17 pitches. In the sixth inning, 21 pitches. So it wasn't working every single inning, but 4 out of the 6 innings, you made him work. This is a guy that didn't have an ERA going into the game, and it really felt the White Sox gave him the toughest game that he's had all year, and it wasn't even close. They really battled up there. A lot of great at-bats, and even when they didn't take the first pitch, we saw Tim Anderson not take the first pitch in his first at-bat. He still ended up getting a single, and then Luis Robert was first pitch swinging in his second at-bat, and he hit a single, so that was good to see that even when they weren't taking the first pitch, they were being smart about it, trying to put the ball in play, and it ended up working out today. It might not work every single day, which we see, but it shouldn't result in an 8-game losing streak like we did see.
No, you wear those pitchers down by making them pitch a lot of pitches. Yeah, you might get him in the first time around. Second time, third time around, you've seen what he can offer. And now you sit on what your pitch is, especially if you allow him to get himself out of control. He wasn't dominant today. His stuff is pretty damn good. That changeup is still undefeated. I think he should throw it more. Sandoval, I don't know if Suzuki knows that his changeup was pretty good. Ask Luis Robert about that. The man swung almost himself into the damn ground when he threw a middle changeup, 85 miles per hour. It plays. But other than that, he just tried to nibble around the corners and didn't work out because the White Sox were patient with his pitches out there. And when he did make a mistake inside, they punished him a little bit, got singles, took the ball the other way. Luis Robert, what is it? He had 3 singles early, so yeah, if he can see a ball early in the count and do some damage with it, smooth. But they're seeing a scouting report on Luis Robert, too. I guarantee whoever the Cubs pitcher is, Drew Smiley, is not going to throw him a first ball fastball down the middle. If he does, he should be DFA'd right after the game.
And we'll talk about, Drew Smiley a little bit later. The White Sox should be able to eat
Tiger's great.
Off him. Yes, Tiger's great. Mariner's great. We can go all day with Drew
Smiley.
Smiley.
Cubs great, too.
Former Cub great. Current
also
Cub great.
With Kendall Graveman.
Soggy arm great. Yeah, Kendall Graveman was
Thank you, Cubs.
Same signing
Twice
as well.
Today
Thanks, Cubs.
For both not Liam Hicks, for Graveman and Dylan Cease, yeah.
And thanks for Brett Lowry, too, I think.
We didn't have him.
But, I mean, they had Josh Donaldson, and then Josh Donaldson got traded to the A's, and Brett Lowry was in that trade. So, I mean, in a roundabout way.
I'm not going to thank him.
Thanks for Brett Lowry.
Brett Lowry is terrible.
He is terrible. You were right, though, about Sandoval. Maybe you should throw that changeup a little bit more. Threw it 30% of the time. Threw the fastball 31% of the time. He only got 3 called strikes on it, but 8 whiffs, and that's exactly what he was looking for. But let's look at Patrick Sandoval, where he was locating his pitches today. And this is, Steven, what did I tell you this was on?
Balls in play.
This is balls in play. All right, so this is where the Sox were putting balls in play. They put in 21 balls in play today, but I think this was on...
not the outs.
This is not the outs. So this is the balls that actually went into play that weren't caught by people. And as you can see, a lot of those over the middle of the heart right there. You got 3 that are pretty much over the middle. But you see the changeups on the outside corner as well.
It's a good location.
Yeah, that's where the Sox, needed to hit him. He was locating down and away like we talked about in the pregame today. But when he left it up, you needed to hit it. And the White Sox were able to do that today too. And that's a really nice location there. Those 2 up and in fastballs that they were able to turn out and put into play. So good stuff to see there for the White Sox against Sandoval.
And I think our guy Stephen Nicholas, who's producing this show, said White Sox do well versus fastballs. And I don't know if you want to speak more to it, Stephen, but yeah, you see up and in, he's throwing 94 up and in to right-handers. White Sox have no problem with turning that around, especially if they have premium counts where it's a hitter's count and they're looking for velocity.
Yeah, they've really struggled when they chase these breaking balls, but if they just wait and sit on a fastball, that's exactly what they want to be hitting. Like, chasing is just not the result we're looking for here. And
right.
Today, we sit on the first pitch, we get ahead in counts, we get hits because they have to throw fastballs.
Yeah. And, we saw, AJ Pollock going into yesterday. He was really good against right-handers and fastballs. Tim Anderson, very, very good against fastballs. Obviously, Luis Robert has hit, I think, a couple home runs off fastballs this year. So, been good to see. And, that should continue too. And we look at this lineup like, Yasmani Grandal isn't fully back just yet. Nope. Luis Roberts still figuring it out. Tim's been great at the top of the lineup. Another hit for him today. His average is at 329. But you look at him, he's the only guy above 300 right now. I think he's the only guy above 250 right now, batting average. Why? Batting average isn't huge to me, but still, that shows you how this team is struggling. They're putting a lot of balls in play. Those averages should go up, and I know people are excited about Moncada being back, but even without Moncada, these numbers should still go up.
Yeah, I mean, Tim has to do batting average over 300 because that's how he gets on base. Right. Same with Luis Robert. But I think there's a better hitter inside of Luis Robert with a little bit more discipline. He can be a guy that draws a couple more walks because people don't want to pitch to him, especially if he's batting in the second position and there's Yaz and Jose Abreu behind him. So, yeah, there's a better hitter in there. I'll give Tim the pass on not walking, not being patient because he's got a batting title. The skins are on the wall. Luis Robert, still, come a little bit back. Do a little bit better for yourself and draw a couple more walks. Draw a couple more pitches in there. It'll be much better for the White Sox, much better for your career. And we're talking about you being an MVP. MVPs walk. MVPs take their bases when they're given to them. So let's do it.
And we got a super chat. We got Stupid Donkey giving us a $5 super chat.
You could say something stupid.
Yeah, I'm usually.
Donkey.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't know if he's. I'm
going to give him the horn at least.
I don't know.
Hey, whatever you say, we're gonna bring it up, Stupid Donkey. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You guys can do it too if you want.
I don't know if he's just stupid or not, but I mean, you could attach the message here.
He just wanted to give us money. That's my man's. Thank you, Stupid
I know
Donkey.
he's been in the chat. So, Steven, if you want to look up his username, and we could try to find some of the stuff that Stupid Donkey said.
Everything you've ever said, Stupid Donkey.
Oh, you're shy.
Bring
You've been saying stuff. He did ask if Moncada was coming back. We did talk about this in the pregame. He hit a home run yesterday in Charlotte. I think he had a walk and 2 hits as well. We are expecting him to make the road trip with Charlotte, so we might be seeing him on Thursday. I think that would be pretty early. You'd probably see him, I'd say, either Thursday the 5th or Monday the 9th. Huh?
No game on Thursday.
Right, but like Thursday he might come. That's when he might come back. Be ready for Friday in Boston. But I would say that he probably comes back for the homestand on Monday the 9th.
And in his comments earlier, Steven, he said something that might be a talking point about Moncada coming back and Berger going back down to AAA, which I think we both believe is going to happen. And if he's impressed enough with this short period of time he's played here in the major leagues for other GMs to be like, okay, we'll see it. Like the White Sox held out Andrew Vaughn for the trade of Montas. Maybe they say Berger's like, not Andrew Vaughn, but that man plays. Mm-hmm. That can be our guy for first or third or designated hitter in the future. I don't know what Oakland's looking for, but if they're looking for Andrew Vaughn, they're not going to get it. I'll be hard-pressed to give away Jake Berger, but if they're throwing Frankie Montas back and that can be our 5th starter instead of Cueto, Velasquez, or Keuchel, Jesus Christ, I'm already done it. I'm sorry, Jake Berger. Oakland is a decent city. I don't care what they say about Oakland. You'll have a great career out there.
Vegas is nice too.
Oh, yeah, Vegas. When they move there a couple years, enjoy yourself. Stay out of the casinos. And make sure your speed is down, too, when you're driving.
Yeah, but he has helped himself. He's done a fantastic job making sure that he is having good at-bats for the White Sox. He drove in the second run for today for the Sox. I think that he has improved his trade value. I think the more and more that we see him do well in Major League bats, I think the more and more his trade value will increase. Will it be enough to get Frankie Montas? I don't think so, but 29 teams now have the DH, including the White Sox, so that would be 30. But Jake Berger won't be DHing for the Sox, but I could see somewhere he could be a DH for some team, and he's not bad in the field.
Really good at bat in the first inning. He had the bases loaded, and I know young players and even some veterans looking for dead red and looking for a grand salami. Just took what it was given, drove it into center field, drove in the sac fly. That's all that needed to be done. He took it, what was given, and you saw when he came back to the dugout, like I referenced earlier, hyped. Hyped that he had a great at bat, hyped that he drove in that run, looked at Dylan. Dylan was like, thanks, son. That's all I need, kid. Thanks, kid. Deuces. 2 runs? Man,
peace.
Way too much. That's sick. Sick, bro.
Sick.
I'm going to go out and play some disc golf, bro. You want to join me?
I'm like, all right, sick. I'll fix that. Let's go to... Well, let's talk. So we got Andrew Vaughn. Someone asked about Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn is still day-to-day, according to the White Sox. He should be able to return tomorrow against the Chicago Cubs, but he is still dealing with a bruised wrist right now after getting hit by a 95-mile-per-hour pitch. They're not putting him on the IL just yet, but I do want to go to what Vinny mentioned about Johnny Cueto, because I did think that was interesting. Sounds like Johnny Cueto will be up soon, maybe Thursday, that off day, they'll send him up and bring him up, but that will be an interesting conversation because it's pretty clean. All right, we send Berger down, we call up Moncada, but what happens with Johnny Cueto? Right now, the only probable pitchers listed for the Sox will be Michael Kopech on Tuesday, Lucas Giolito on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right now against the Red Sox are a clean slate. So if you had to look, let's say Cueto comes up on Thursday, Kopech and Giolito pitch, what is that move? Who gets sent down, and what does the rotation look like? Do they go 6-man rotation and throw Velasquez, Keuchel, and Cueto? What do you think?
Vince Velasquez has earned himself another start in this rotation. So wherever that is, whether that's Friday or Saturday, Vince Velasquez should be pitching in the Boston series. Cueto, yeah, if he is ready to go, maybe he needs another one. You said they were going to maybe bring him up on Thursday. Hey, pitch him on Friday or Saturday. Either one, Vince Velasquez or Johnny Cueto. And I would love to DFA Dallas Keuchel. I don't like when people lose their jobs, but he'll be fine. His money's real. He's got a nice wife, all that stuff. But I don't think the White Sox are going to do that. So I think Dallas Keuchel will be pitching the last part of that game. So theoretically, it'll be a 6-man rotation, but I think they'll suss that out eventually because you're not going to have a 6-man rotation. You don't want a 6-man rotation for these guys. You want to see Dylan Cease as much as you can. Same thing with Giolito. And if they feel that Vince Velasquez has figured something out and he can be an actual fifth starter, the guy that we thought that Dallas Keuchel might have been, or a guy just eating innings, he's not the guy that showed up on Saturday. That guy's not the guy. That's an anomaly. I appreciate him doing that, but that guy's not showing up. If he can just be a guy with a 4.50 ERA, fine. Yeah. I'm in. Give me all that. But like I said, if we can go and get Frankie Montas, I'm in more for that. We weren't trying to win a championship here.
Yeah, I could see them sending down a Ryan Burr. I could see them sending down a Bennett Sousa. I could see them sending down a Tanner Banks. And
No.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely not.
I could see it. Bennett Sousa was
absolutely not.
Bennett Sousa was the first name, friends. Yep. I'm just saying what I could see. Bennett Sousa was the first name, so I could see him being sent down.
We riot if Tanner Banks is sent down.
we might
all
honestly.
Riot.
We might.
Every one of us.
I'm
that man's been
nails.
nails.
He's been nails, just like Kendall Graveman. But yeah, I think that you could see a bullpen arm get sent down, and then they see if they can work in Keuchel into the bullpen, or maybe they work Velasquez into the bullpen. I just don't see him being DFA'd. And that's the only thing. That's the point I wanted to make, is I just don't. He should be DFA'd. Yes. We said that on the podcast yesterday, but I just don't think he will be DFA'd.
I mean, I don't know what Rick's conversations and Kenny's conversation with Jerry are, but just what you said. Say you have a 5-man rotation and Dallas Keuchel's not part of it. How does he contribute to this team? Bullpen? Who are you bringing him in for?
Right.
You bringing him in for 3 straight lefties in another lineup? Those people are not scared of Dallas Keuchel. Delicious. Let's eat. Then you say to Jerry Reinsdorf, hey, man, we can't use this guy. He's not good enough to be in the bullpen because Tanner Banks is better than him. Aaron Bummer's better than him. Hell, Bennett Sousa's better than him. So where's he going to pitch at? And we have 5 starters who are much better than him. So what are we doing, Jerry? I'm sorry that I signed him a couple years. I got 1 top 5 Cy Young award-winning season out of him. So, goddamn it, Jerry. Let me DFA this guy. I'm sorry I've wasted $18 million. But if we win the World Series, I'll pay you back. That's what I would say to him. Something like that. Please, I'm sorry. Just fucking let me do it, you dick. You hired this goddamn manager. You owe me one, actually. So, damn it, I'm doing it. I've already convinced myself. Rick, if you're watching, just do it. F it.
I wish Rick Hahn used his you owe me one for Carlos Rodon and bringing him back. But yes.
Just do it.
Just do it.
You heard Shia LaBeouf.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. Kevin's saying Keuchel gets DFA'd. Does that mean we trade for left-handed pitching? I don't think it will happen. I think that everyone's trying to jump to this DFA move that will happen, or it will happen at some point. I wouldn't get your hopes up just yet. I mean, if it happens in May, I honestly will truly be shocked that Dallas Keuchel gets DFA'd. I don't think it's happening this month.
There was something up there, Steven, a little bit. Ross, right there. Listen to MF doing in honor of Tanny, and just busted some more Steely Dan for Herb. And good, I haven't lost it over there.
Good mojo today. The band will not the bike, just FYI.
Okay, because I went over there. You got to listen to Sean's crap. Fleetwood Mac.
Sean's crap. He said it right there. Tanner Banks is equal to the album Tusk, which means he's the greatest pitcher of all time.
Stop it, Ross. You had me at listen to Delicious Steely Dan. Now you're talking about trash and Tusk. Come on now.
Okay, I mean, he said no one knows the album, but it could be solid if given a chance. That is true. That is Tanner Banks.
I listen to
it.
I listen to it. It's good. It's trash.
It's not solid. It's great. It's the greatest album of all time. Also, I do love how he's bringing up Tanny. Tanny has never been on this show, friends.
He hasn't. I mean, he probably remembers him from Locked on Sox,
from
such show as Locked on Sox, which we have both hosted.
Yes, and you probably remember Tanny just because Tanny is great.
The best of all time.
So that's it. Any final things that we missed out on?
We said that today that Dylan was shoving. We had our guy Steven look up in the dictionary. You know, we had a physical dictionary back in the day, but now you just looking up on the internet. Steven looked it up, found this.
Oh, look at that.
Amazing.
Unedited. That's the way it was in there.
If you look up the dictionary of shove, it's a verb to push along, to push or put in a rough, careless, or hasty manner, to be forced by other than physical means. You'll find a picture of Dylan Cease in the dictionary shove.
With his beautiful mustache.
That's I think also the fourth definition is throwing 60% strikes and striking out Mike Trout twice on 6 pitches. That's what's most important there.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Trout usually looks the part. Mm-hmm. Usually looks, okay, man, that guy looks like he can run through walls and he gets like a safety. Today he looked like a feeble child. Especially at the end. As we're talking about Chris Tannehill, he used to say this line, Liam Hendricks and Dylan Cease made sweet love to Mike Trout today.
Yes, he
Mercy.
did.
Both with filthy sliders. Like, it was a great game to watch, apparently, for Mike Trout, because he had 2 strikeouts looking. Mercy.
Just staring. And let's talk real quick about Liam Hendricks, because Rusted said Liam is healthy and looking unhittable. That's the thing, guys. The fastball, I told you. I've been telling you since the start of the season.
He's been annoyingly like, he's all right.
He's all right.
Shut up. He sucks.
He's all right.
He's the worst guy ever.
The fastball's been fine. He just was throwing fastballs in the first two pitches to each hitter, and that would be 2 strikes, 2 easy strikes for him to be up 0-2, and then he just used that slider outside of the zone, and it was perfect. He wasn't in the zone, but it was in the zone long enough, and then ended out of the zone, and he got swings and misses on it. It was fantastic from Liam today. He got 2 swings and misses on that slider. It was absolutely great. 3 called strikes on his fastball, 2 whiffs on his fastball, 2 whiffs on his slider. He was electric. He threw the slider 4 times, got a called strike and 2 whiffs on it. I mean, he just loaded up the zone. I mean, 12 pitches. I think he threw 11 strikes. I mean, that's just exactly what you're looking for in Liam. It's not about what happened before. It's about you're up against me and I'm going to throw fastballs until you die, until I obliterate you with fastballs. It's
hit
great
triple
to see.
digits today. Hit 100 miles per hour. I think that was the one pitch that was awry, but it was lit up the radar gun. And that slider to the first 2 batters was slightly off of the plate. And I was like, that is so delicious. And the guys flailed at it. And then Mike Trout just like, all right, he's going to throw me another fastball. Nope. Filthy slider in the zone. Yarr.
All right, let's go to the next 2 games. It will be a crosstown classic between our Chicago White Sox and our Chicago Cubs. Got the CHGO Cubs crew and the CHGO White Sox crew doing a combined pre- and post-game show. It will be me and Herb and Luke and Cody of the CHGO Cubs crew. We'll be doing pregame shows and postgame shows for you. It'll be our postgame, half-hour pregame with the 4 of us, and it should be fun talking Cubs and Sox. First game on Tuesday will be at 6:40 p.m. at Wrigley Field. You got Michael Kopech versus Drew Smiley, and then on Wednesday, May 4th, 6:40 p.m. as well. You got Lucas Giolito versus Kyle Hendricks, Herb.
Ooh, the Kyle Hendricks kind of worries me, but I remember.
Yeah,
You
remember what last happened.
And an empty stadium. I know you're probably referencing last year. I'm referencing 2020 when they ate his lunch for dinner, breakfast, and the next day. They murdered him.
They ate his lunch for lunch.
Oh, my God. And if he brings that trash to this White Sox team, they're not going to do that well versus him like they did that day. But they'll get 4 or 5 runs off of him. But I'm not worried about my next 2 guys. Lucas, I'm 100% not worried about. Only thing I worry about with Michael is length, and he's been filthy on the bump. So if Michael can give us 6 tomorrow versus the Cubs, game's over.
Right.
We're winning that game. And then Lucas going the bump on Wednesday. Goddamn. Those Cub guys are going to be embarrassed. CHGO Cubs, go and buy them a shirt because they're going to be crying. They need something. They need some type of positivity that's going to happen in the next couple of days. And buy one of our shirts too, because we're fine. We're fine. We're at the same record as them, 9-13 as the Cubs, but we got our people up on the bump. The Cubs suck, man. Yeah, we're good for it.
About to be 11-13. Hendricks last 3 starts against the Cubs. You mentioned
the Sox. Yeah.
My bad.
It's 540
against the Sox.
540 ERA.
Oh yeah, he has not been great. The Pirates were able to get to him as well. But back in 2020, 5 1/3 innings pitched for Hendricks, 7 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed. In 2021, he faced them at Wrigley, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks. So that was a good one for him on August 6th. But then on August 29th, at the G-rate, 4 2/3, 7 hits allowed, 8 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 3 home runs for the White Sox. So the last time they saw Kyle Hendricks, they had good success, and Drew Smiley is not good. Drew Smiley is very, 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 very bad, and he is a left-handed pitcher. If the White Sox don't win tomorrow, we might shave my head live on air.
With?
Manscaped.
You were doing Manscaped.
Oh no, that wasn't even an ad read. I'm just saying we might shave my head on air.
I thought I was going there. Okay.
No, just might shave my head on air because the White Sox should destroy Drew Smiley if they just beat up
my head.
Patrick Sandoval.
And guys, if you want to get Jose Abreu back on track, in 22 at bats versus Hendricks, 591 batting average.
Ooh, yeah,
friends.
let's go.
That's
bat him third that day.
Work.
Bat him third.
He can go third.
He can go to the third.
We could keep AJ Pollock down around 6 or 7, friends. We don't need to move him up near the top of the order. But that should do it today, Herb. Good series for the Sox.
We should do this more.
Yes, they should win games more often. I like that.
Like my blood pressure feels better. I feel better about life. I'm gonna go home, have a good dinner, have a drink or 3, and play somebody in MLB The Show. If anybody wants the beef, I'm there. Brett Ecknerwall 23. It's just Herb Lawrence spelled backwards, 2-3.
And now we got salty Cubs fans in here. PW, Pirates got to Hendricks. He pitched, I'm pretty sure, I'm sorry, I haven't watched every single Cubs game. Oh, he pitched twice against Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. I'm remembering his first start against Pittsburgh where he had 6 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. That's the reason why his ERA is at 5. I'm so sorry, PW, that I didn't remember the last game that Kyle Hendricks pitched against the Pirates. My bad. Sox versus Cubs tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We will have a Cubs White Sox pregame show for you. The CHGO Crosstown Special, the CHGO Cubs crew and the CHGO White Sox crew. That will do it for us. Sox win 3-0. They take 2 of 4 against the Angels. What was your favorite moment of the series, Herb?
My favorite moment was Dylan Cease shoving today. That was 100% my favorite moment because you very rarely see somebody just dominate a team like the Angels, and he absolutely dominated. They had no chance.
Oh, and that's why I forgot it. PW said you should have remembered if they put up 3 touchdowns. That was the one they won 21-0. I remember it because they won 21-0. My bad, PW. I remember that they took Zach Thompson, a former White Sox, to the shed that day.
Yeah, but they lost 3 or 4 to the Pirate that weekend. Yeah, so it was tough.
That was not good.
But guess who's pitching well for the Pirate?
Jose Quintana. Jose Quintana has gone to the Blake Snell route of pitching north to south.
Hey, he won't be in Pittsburgh that long, and if we can't get Frankie Montas, and if Johnny Cueto's not good, we could say thanks to the Cubs with all 3 of our dudes.
We got to wrap this show
all
up.
All 3 of them.
Jose Quintana and Roberto Perez. I know we got Reese McGuire, but I take those guys off the Pirates' hands.
Damn right. And we don't have to trade a lot for that.
Yeah. Kevin asked, if we're looking for left-handed pitching. Jose Quintana's out there, folks.
And I love me some Q. Always have.
Yeah, my favorite moment probably today, or this series, if I can't go with Dylan Cease's moment.
You can. Go ahead.
I'll go with TA's leadoff homer. We always love to see that. First pitch swinging 15th time he's done that in his White Sox career. We always love to see that. So that's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox post-game show. Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you do like the podcast, if you do like listening to Herb, Vinny, and I, make sure you rate and review the podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at CHGO White Sox. You can follow Herb on Twitter at Ectorwall23. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. And we want to thank Stephen Nicholas for his excellent production today. Direction or production? What do you want?
Both.
It's both.
Okay.
Yeah, give me all the
producer, director.
That's why he makes the big money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's producer on the paychecks, yeah.
We appreciate Stephen Nicholas and his producer paycheck. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Handshake and get the fuck out of here.
Thank you, Stupid Donkey, for the super chat. And we will talk to you tomorrow when the Sox take on the Chicago Cubs. And thank you to Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album, Tusk.